This video and Infinity Wars Classic are brought to you by our amazing Patreon supporters. Find out more at infinitywarsclassic.com and enjoy the video. 8 competitors step up to the challenge to prove they are the best at Infinity Wars Classic. One by one, they are eliminated until one of them is crowned the champion, also gaining the ultimate prize, food! This is Lightmare's Infinity Wars Classic internal tournament. Following week 2, we had some amazing games and a few technical problems, leading us into the final qualifying round before we jump into the semi-finals. So let's jump into the match, Nadine versus Nate. Jumping into the game, we can see Nadine and Nate's commander selection, the 2-in-1 purity mix for Genesis Industries and Cult of Raw, as compared to the 3 varied mix of Flame Dawn, DoD, and Genesis Industries. Jumping over to Nate's footage, and it seems something's gone a bit wrong with his capture there, capturing at about 1 frame every 10 seconds. That's alright, we'll cut back to that every now and then just to get updates and see what he's doing. We've got the cannon fodder placed out. Nadine now looking to throw down an airborne scientist, decides against it, does have the splitterbot light, always a good option to get that out when you can. If your commanders are made to be played on the early turn, respect that curve, keep things in your hand hidden, manages to clean up the cannon fodder very easily. So, before going into this game, it is worth noting that Nadine has about 30 times the playtime that Nate has, so she's definitely got the advantage. But we'll see if Nate can actually manage to make something interesting happen here. Death Ray coming out onto Iberian's Apprentice. He does move into the combat zone, so that is going to trigger, and that's an easy 4 damage going through from the Splitterbot Light. We're seeing Balanced Warrior coming out. Not a bad card. Not a bad card whatsoever. Is potentially susceptible to kill effects. Damage effects less so. It's one of those cards that as long as it stays alive, it's getting some level of value, and it's doing okay. We've got Overloaded Drone potentially being played out, as well as the Flame Dawn Aspirant going directly into the Assault Zone. So he's getting a little bit of aggression down, a little bit of control. Splitterbot Light still in the Assault Zone, might be thinking of defending here. There is a 6/6 thing that he thinks is coming. Nadine doesn't necessarily know that that's already been placed in the Assault Zone, but we will have the Flame Dawn Commando coming out to do some damage to it anyway. And there are the Splitterbot Lights. Now, something to mention, this is actually an early build. This game happened over a month ago, and the Splitterbot Light is actually a bit busted, where it creates 5/5 units the same way the big Splitterbot does, rather than the 2/2 units it's supposed to create. So, a little bit of a bug there, but everybody was made aware of it going into the tournament, and it's been completely okay and acceptable to use because the prize is Ultimate Glory and Lunch, and if everybody knows that a bug exists, it's technically fair letting it be in. Splitter Robot, not too bad of a choice, does have 5 resources, so we'll also have enough to play out the support drone as well. Can choose anything here to give a small buff to. Flying means that it'll always get a little bit of extra damage, unless Nate has some sort of answer to the flying in a card with either flying or reach, or he just has some generic removal in his deck somewhere. Easy 5 damage. Splitterbot Light does trade down quite poorly into that matchup, the 1/1 card still existing. Nate does some things. It's a bit difficult to see what's actually happened there. We'll get a better look at that and how that all resolves when Nadine's turn is over. Aletta Immortal Tinkerer has one of the best commander-based abilities in the game, as long as you can keep her alive and keep her safe. Is just going to create some pretty good buffs for all of her units going forward. Death Ray, potential targets, anything on the command zone is a valid target. Decides to use it in the support area, and as long as that comes out to play and actually jumps into battle, we'll be all good. Another Death Worshipper, always a good thing to get those out before you throw down some death effects. They get more and more powerful as the game goes on. It's absolutely fantastic. Also, Nadine still does have the Calamity in hand, hasn't thrown that away just yet, as well as the Mega Unit. I don't know if they're going to get the chance to actually play those this early in the game, and at the moment they're just kind of taking up space in the hand. I mean, if we look at Nadine's hand, realistically the only thing that they really have left to play is the Orbital Ion Cannon. Not really a good trade. To jump into the Aether Acolyte, 2-for-1 trade, not too bad. Not a good trade there in the defense zone, 10 and 10, taking out a 1-and-1 guy when you could have just traded the 2-2 for it, and then leaving an extra unit alive in that area, also not good. Nate's hand not looking great at the moment, has played out the Luca combat mechanic, is going to result in a minor buff to a bunch of robot stuffs, is looking to potentially play out a letter here, is considering it, goes with the Ion Cannon instead. Is that going to be everything for the turn? Does move the flying unit over to the defense zone. Interesting. Flying units will, of course, defend any attack that hits them, so if something gets placed in that area, it's going to block it regardless of if it has flying or not. Could be a potential chance for Nate here to clean up a very pesky unit that he might not actually get the chance to do later on. Let's see how the turn resolves. Alright. Easy trade, and another 15 damage going to the face. That's 10, that's 5. 7767 does actually leave him alive on 1 health. Not too shabby. Looks like Nate might have to play his Brimstone Battle Tank this time around. Or he's got his other Luca there, we'll see what he ends up going with. He does have 4 resources left, so secondary Luca, not too bad of an option. And because this is an early version of the game, the unique keyword doesn't actually exist in the current version of the game that you're looking at, so they could technically play 2 or even 3 versions of the exact same unique card, just because unique doesn't exist yet. Ooh, Nadine decides that she wants to bring out the Varor Death Worshipper. This is built up to be a 2020 unit, very powerful. Let's see just what it can do. Right, 2 things get thrown to the assault zone. A letter comes in, does a little buff. Good times. 14-14 to the 6-6. And that is the defense zone cleaned up. Another 24 plus 6 plus 5. That is 35 damage. Shazarius the Cruel, not a bad option here, but doesn't have many options. It's on the back foot with 32 health. Not many good options in hand. Not many cards in hand. Not many cards on the field. No commanders left. This isn't looking good. Splitterbot and a Luca won't be enough to potentially clean that up. Ooh, the Death Ray coming out. This could actually stifle a lot of the defense pressure that's going to come out here. Nate definitely on the back foot now. Nadine's still on 100 health. Nate down to 32. Lightning Blast is going to make the Luca easier to clean up, but because it's running into a 10 attack thing anyway, it's not really going to matter that much. That's a smack to end that. 20 and 14 into the face, and that's just going to be the end of the game. Good game, well played. Your winner for this round is going to be Nadine. Recording issues aside, Nadine played really well and advances to the semi-final. So let's talk to our 4 winners and see what they have to say about their games and the future ones coming up. So tell me, back in version 0.6, what was your actual game plan going into things?
Mainly I wanted to start off aggressive. So I knew there was sort of with the current cards in the game, we've got a nice influx of Flame Dawn, and Flame Dawn has that really strong aggression at the sort of early stages. And I also wanted to sort of go in, charge hard, and smash the fortress early on.
Well, I went with a Varor Sleepers deck, trying to take advantage of some of the sacrifice outlets and the powerful removal of both factions, especially because the Varor Death Worshipper is a very powerful card if lots of things are dying, and so I believed with the sacrifice synergies and lots of removal that I could make the Varor Death Worshipper very huge and destroy my opponent.
So with the first rounds very far behind us, and a few updates being added to the game as well as some bug fixes and content additions, how do you think that's going to be changing your playstyle?
I actually think my deck is at a little bit of a disadvantage because we've recently added the purity system changes so that you can't have your commander being not the correct purity for your overall deck. And so that means actually I'm going to have to change Hakim the Corrupted to something else because it's no longer a legal deck. But I think a lot of the other cards that I'm playing is going to still work well together and haven't been affected too much by the patches.
So yeah, looking forward to some of the cards that weren't working in the last version that I thought were going to work as intended, like Infest. That'll work targeting a character that's about to be put into the battlefield. So looking forward to that ticking off properly, and then just hope that the replacements I've picked, being Boomy and Ruzan of Avarak, will be a suitable replacement for the drop of the infested pack leaders. Sorry, I meant Hakim.
I'm looking forward to seeing what new cards there are, but I think I'm interested in exploring other factions, maybe the Sleep, see what that has to offer.
So we now know who our 4 finalists are. Who do you think is going to be in the grand final, and more importantly, who do you think is going to take the win?
Yeah, I would expect Ruben would be having a free lunch pretty soon because he designed a lot of it, so I think he would know which combinations would work well.
So you're not liking your odds going into the semi-finals then?
Well...
Oh, that's a tough one. I would say, firstly, I'm gonna demolish Agent Coil. So then, hopefully, I go smashing straight into the finals. But yeah, other than that, I reckon everyone's pretty good at the game, so it's pretty dynamic, and you never really know what's going to happen because there's just something can come out of nowhere. But I reckon, I don't know, maybe I'll take the cake, or I guess depending if Ruben makes it into the finals, then it might be a tough one there. Too early to tell, I would say, but I'm hoping for the win, that's for sure.
Alright, and finally, a little bit of a fun question. Let's say that you do win the prize, what do you think your victory lunch is going to be?
Oh, my victory lunch. I would just guess I'd just grab that's a hard one. What does one eat? A victory eat. I guess I'd just maximize whatever food I can and get the biggest dirty feed.
I think I'll probably go for a nice a nice burger, like a nice gourmet burger from like one of the nearby cafes.
Well, I hand cook all my food, so I would see if I could get some grocery money instead.
My victory lunch will probably be... I'll probably end up having spaghetti at the corner shop cafe. That'll be my prize for myself. Which you'd be welcome to join me over, Jason.
I don't want to appear biased towards any specific player, but I will appear biased towards spaghetti because that sounds really good about now. Thank you, Agent Coil, Corey, Ruben, and Nadine for joining me on this little interview phase. And for all of you watching home, you can join me for both of the games in the semi-finals next week. We'll see you there. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with everything going on here at Lightmare. But be careful with that bell icon. It could be a trap. Anyway, a massive thank you to all of our Patreon supporters who help make all of this possible, including Aaron M, Apollo P, Arcadian Adventure, Canem Tempest, Chris S, Crom XH, David S, Eduardo H, Florian R, Helbin, J vs R, JM, Jesse G, John M, Callie H, Matthew S, Neon725, Parker, Racer, Satan's Ghost 69, Sticky Hams, Terrence C, Tinfoil Mark 4, Zima, Zajui, and everybody else. Much love, and we'll see you next time.